Morning, everybody. My name is Mickey Draper. I'm a health and safety consultant for THSP. Today's Toolbox Talk is going to be on working from step ladders and ladders. So we'll get straight into it then. So introduction. So working at height is a common task in the workplace, and ladders and step ladders are frequently used to perform tasks such as maintenance, repairs and installations. However, working from ladders can be hazardous, and it's important to ensure safe practices to minimise the risk of falling and injuries. This Toolbox Talks will cover the safe use of step ladders and ladders based on the Health and Safety Executive, also known as the HSE's guidelines. Under UK law, working at height must be properly planned, supervised and carried out safely. The working at height regulations state that employers have a duty to ensure that employees are safe while working at height. This includes the safe use of ladders and step ladders, ensuring that they are appropriately and avoiding any unnecessary risks. Used appropriately, sorry. So how can we do that then? Everyone is used to the word RAMS, yep. So the RA of the RAMS is the risk assessment then. So the risk assessment must be carried out before work begins, identifying the correct ladder for the task, the correct hazards and controls must be communicated to all those involved in using the equipment. Yeah, so the purpose of a risk assessment then is to identify all hazards associated with the works and recommend suitable and sufficient control measures in order to eliminate the risk if you can, or if you can't, reduce that risk to an acceptable level. The MS then, so the method statement or safe system of work should support the risk assessment by clearly detailing how the identified hazards will be controlled during the task. It provides a step-by-step instruction to ensure the work is carried out safely and in accordance with the risk assessment findings. This ensures that all workers understand the safety procedures, reduce the likelihood of accidents, and demonstrates compliance with the Working at Height Regulations 2005. Types of ladders and step ladders then. So we've got step ladders. They tend to be self-supporting and are often used in light tasks where the user doesn't need to reach great heights. So ladders are non-self-supporting, used in conjunction with a wall or structure to provide access to a higher place. Ladders should always be secured properly at the top and the bottom to avoid it slipping. Key safety guidelines for using ladders. So we should always inspect the ladder before use to ensure the ladder is in good condition and free from defects. For example, cracks, bent rungs, missing rubber feet. You will find a ladder inspection sheet within your health and safety policy on the My THSP members login area. The ladder should be clean with no oil or dirt on the rungs that could cause slips. Ensure the ladder has the correct weight rating for the user and the tasks. This should be found in the manufacturer's instruction provided when you purchase the ladders. Okay. British standard. The UK's version of EN 131, the single British and European product standards covering all types of portable ladders, step, extending and combination, was substantially revised and came into force in January 2019. British Standards 2037 and British Standard 1129, often refers to as Class 1 and Class 3 ladders, are no longer available and you can no longer buy ladders made to these withdrawn standards. Correct positioning then, step ladders, so ensure the ladder is fully open and that the locking mechanisms are engaged. Yeah, so when you fold out the legs, there should be a lock that locks them legs into place to prevent them collapsing in on themselves. For ladders then, place the ladders on firm level ground. The base of the ladder should be 1 foot away from the wall for every 4 feet of height, and this is commonly known as the 4:1 ratio. Always secure the top of the ladder using a lanyard or strap to prevent it from slipping. Climbing then. So when you're getting up the ladders or the step ladders, always face the ladder when climbing or descending. Keep your hands free when climbing by using a tool belt or a lanyard to secure tools. You should always have 3 points of contact on a ladder. Never overreach or lean to one side when on the ladder, and keep your body centered on the ladder to maintain balance. Where applicable, try not to stand on the top rung or the second to top rung of the ladder. Yeah, so when you step on the top of the ladder, obviously your hands are not placed anywhere that's secure. So always try and be on the ladder and maintain them 3 points of contact. Do not use a ladder for tasks that require excessive movement or carrying heavy work tools. Keep your center of gravity between the ladder's side rails. Avoid twisting or leaning out to the side. If the task involves using both hands, consider using a scaffold or other equipment instead of a ladder. And this should have been identified when completing your risk assessments. Weather conditions then, so wind. So you should never use a ladder in windy conditions because wind can destabilize a ladder and increase the risk of the fall. Wet or icy conditions. Avoid using ladders in wet and icy conditions. Ensure that the ground is stable and if necessary, wait for better conditions. Storage then, so store ladders in a dry, secure place away from areas where they may get damaged. Inspect ladders regularly for damages, replace or repair any damaged parts immediately to avoid accidents. You should always carry a pre-use check to spot any obvious visual defects and to make sure that the ladder is safe to use. This will also help you evidence compliance in terms of the PUR regulations so that you can prove that you're regularly inspecting your ladders. A pre-use check should be carried out by a person using a ladder at the beginning of the working day after something has changed. For example, a ladder that has been dropped or moved from a dirty area to a clean area. Check the state and the condition of the feet. The check should include then the styles to make sure that they're not bent or damaged, as a ladder can buckle or collapse. Check the feet then, so if they are missing, worn or damaged, the ladder could slip. Also check the ladder feet when moving from soft to dirty ground to a smooth solid surface to make sure that the actual feet are not the dirt are making contact with the ground. Yes, so ladders tend to have it's like a rubber grommets on the bottom, and they tend to be they help with the movement of ladders. Yeah, so it's additional grip on the bottom. So if they've come away or they've been damaged or defected, try get them replaced or replace the ladders. The rungs then, so these are the steps as it were. So if they are bent, worn, missing or loose, the ladders could fail. Any locking mechanisms, do they work properly? Are the components or fixings bent, worn or damaged? If so, the ladder could collapse. Ensure the locking bars are fully engaged. Step ladder platform, so if it is split or buckled, the ladder could become unstable and collapse. The steps or treads on step ladders, if they are contaminated, they could be slippy. If the fixings are loose on the steps, they could collapse. Yeah, so if you've got a lot of dirt on your ladders obviously on the rungs themselves, they've got like they've got grip on them. So if you've got a lot of mud and stuff, that can affect that grip of your feet. So potentially you could slip off the ladders and step ladders. Training and supervision then, to ensure all employees are trained in the correct use of step ladders and ladders. This training should include recognizing the correct ladder for the job and understanding how to position and climb safely. Supervisors should ensure that safe practices are followed and that the workers are using the ladders correctly. To summarize then, so always inspect the ladders and step ladders before use. ensure they are positioned correctly and they are secure. Use appropriate ladders for the task at hand. Yeah, so the risk assessment should identify this, but if you're an operative on site and you're not happy with the ladders that are being provided for the work, raise that as an issue to your managers and supervisors and ask for the appropriate equipment. Follow safe climbing procedures and avoid carrying heavy tools while on the ladder. Never work in adverse weather conditions. Report any damage or unsafe ladders to your supervisors, yeah, which we've kind of already touched on. And by following these safety guidelines, we can minimize the risk of accidents whilst working at height. I appreciate you all logging on today. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Mickey Draper from THSP. And just remember, safety is no accident. Thank you.